Most 26-year-olds are broke, not because of student loans, but because they're investing backwards. Let me prove it. $75,000 in student loans. That's what my friend Jake was carrying when he started his first real job at 26. Most people would focus on paying that off first, maybe save up an emergency fund, then think about investing someday. But Jake did something most people think is crazy. He immediately started investing 15% of his income while still carrying that debt. 3 years later, Jake bought his first house while his girlfriend was still broke, with a fancy car payment and zero investments. Here's what Jake understood: Tony Robbins' simple 3-bucket rule that separates people who build wealth from people who just look wealthy. And if you're in your 20s making the same mistakes 97% of your peers are making, this video could save you decades of financial struggle. So let me break down exactly what Tony Robbins discovered when he interviewed 50 billionaires about how they actually allocate their money, and why the conventional wisdom about investing in your 20s is completely backwards. The backwards approach that keeps you broke. Before we get into what actually works, let me show you the financial disaster most people our age create every single day. The typical 26-year-old's money breakdown: 70% lifestyle spending, 20% car payments and random expenses, 10% maybe I'll invest someday when I have more money. This approach keeps you broke forever. You're trading your most valuable asset, time, for stuff that loses value the moment you buy it. When I was doing dropshipping in college, I made this exact mistake. Good month? Immediately reward myself with new gear. Bad month? Scrambling to pay rent. I had it completely backwards. Here's what Tony Robbins found when he studied billionaires. They invest first, then live on what's left. I know a guy who spent 2 years waiting for the right time to start investing. He wanted to pay off his credit cards first, then build a bigger emergency fund, then research the perfect stocks. You know what happened? 2 years later, he was still waiting while the market went up 30%. His perfect timing cost him thousands in missed gains. But here's the part that really surprised me when I first learned about how billionaires actually allocate their money. Tony Robbins' 3-bucket framework. After interviewing 50 billionaires, Tony Robbins discovered they all follow the same simple system. Think of your money like 3 different buckets. Bucket 1, your security bucket. This is your sleep well at night money. Think of it like a seatbelt. Boring until you crash, then it saves your life. High-yield savings, government bonds, CDs when rates are good. Basically, anything that won't disappear when the market has a bad day. I learned this the hard way. When my dropshipping income was all over the place, I couldn't focus on growing the business because I was always stressed about basic expenses. You can't build wealth if you're constantly worried about losing everything you've saved. Bucket 2. Your growth bucket. This is where you actually build wealth. Think of it like going to the gym. Results take years, but the compounding transformation is massive. Index funds, solid individual stocks, REIT. Basically anything that grows with the economy over time. The S&P 500 is like the ultimate reliable workout routine for your money. Here's the key. This only works if your security bucket is solid first. You need that foundation before you start reaching for higher returns. Bucket 3. Your dream bucket. This is your shoot for the moon money. Think of it like Vegas money, fun to play with, but you'd never use it to pay rent. Crypto, startup investments, individual growth stocks, basically anything that could either moon or crater. It's like buying a lottery ticket, except with slightly better odds. Let me show you the difference. Mark threw his entire $15,000 savings into Dogecoin at the peak in 2021, lost 80% overnight. David put $1,000 into his dream bucket for the same crypto play. When it crashed, he shrugged and said, well, that was fun, because his real wealth was growing safely elsewhere. The dream bucket lets you scratch that gambling itch without destroying your future. Now here's what shocked me. I thought billionaires went all in on stocks, but Tony Robbins found they actually keep 40 to 50% in boring, safe investments, 30 to 40% in growth, and only 10 to 20% in dream bucket stuff. They build wealth by protecting it first, not swinging for the fences. But the real secret isn't just the mechanics, it's psychology. Why emotions destroy wealth and how to beat them. Here's the biggest mistake I see people make. They invest based on pure emotion. When the market goes up, people get FOMO and throw everything at whatever's trending. When it crashes, fear takes over and they sell at the worst possible time. When their friend brags about Tesla gains, they immediately chase whatever worked for someone else. This emotional investing destroys wealth faster than bad stock picks. In March 2020, some people panicked and sold everything during the 35% crash. Others stuck to the system and bought stocks on sale. Guess which group ended up wealthier when markets hit all-time highs months later? This is exactly why you need a system like the 3-bucket rule. When you have a plan, Emotions can't sabotage your wealth, but even more important than the system is shifting how you think about money entirely. Most 26-year-olds fail not because they pick bad investments, but because they have the wrong mindset about money. Like, most people think, I'll start investing when I have extra money. But that's backwards. The right approach is finding money to invest by cutting expenses that don't actually matter. That daily Starbucks habit, those subscription services you forgot about, that's your investment money right there. Or they think, I'm young, so I can afford to gamble on risky stocks. Nope. Being young means time is your biggest advantage. You need to start building a solid foundation now, not gambling it away. And my personal favorite, the market is too risky right now. There's always some crisis happening. COVID, inflation, election drama, there's never a perfect time. The key is investing the same amount every month, regardless of what's happening in the news. When I shifted from thinking like a consumer to thinking like an investor, everything changed. Instead of asking, what can I afford to buy? I started asking, what can I afford to invest? That mindset shift is worth more than any stock tip or crypto prediction you'll ever get. How to start, and why every month matters. All right, enough theory. Here's exactly how you implement Tony Robbins' approach, even if you're broke. First, start with whatever you have. Even $25 a month beats nothing. Second, automate everything. Set up transfers so you invest before you can spend it. Third, use low-cost index funds, security bucket, bond index, growth bucket, S&P 500 index. Fourth, rebalance twice a year. Sell what's up, buy what's down. Fifth, increase contributions by 1% every year. You won't even notice the difference. Look, I know this isn't as exciting as watching your crypto portfolio moon 500% in a week, but here's the truth. Most 20-something-year-olds don't want to hear. Wealth isn't built through home runs. It's built through consistency. For every person who got rich quick, 99 lost everything trying. Don't be most people. Here's the final piece of math that should convince you to start today instead of waiting. Someone who invests $200 a month starting at 25 will have more money at retirement than someone who invests $400 a month starting at 35. That's the power of compound interest. Every month you wait costs you thousands in future wealth. Tony Robbins' approach isn't sexy, but it works. It's worked for billionaires, it's worked for me, and it'll work for you if you actually implement it. Your choice. So here's where we stand. You now know exactly what Tony Robbins discovered about how billionaires really allocate their money. You know the three-bucket approach and the psychology behind wealth building. The question isn't whether this works. The math and the billionaires prove it does. The question is whether you'll actually do it. Most people watching this video will think, that's interesting, and then go buy something on Amazon instead of opening an investment account. Don't be most people. Picture yourself at 35. In one version of the future, you're broke and stressed. In the other, you thank your younger self for starting now. Which future are you building? Stop making excuses. Stop waiting for the perfect time. Start using Tony Robbins' three-bucket system today, not when you have more money. Remember Jake, who started investing even while carrying $75,000 in debt? He thanked his younger self just 3 years later when he bought his first house. At 35, you'll either thank your younger self or regret waiting. Which future will you choose? If this video showed you exactly how to invest like billionaires do, smash that like button and subscribe for more no BS wealth building advice. Drop your age and which bucket you're starting with in the comments. I want this to become a thread of accountability. If you comment your plan, you'll inspire others to start too. And if you want to see the specific index funds I actually use in my growth bucket, let me know so I can produce a video about it, because knowing the system is only half the battle. I'll see you in the next one.